Hello and welcome to this week's vlog. I wanted to do this one a little bit different because I've been getting a lot of questions about what I am eating during my deficit. If you are new here, my name is Rebecca. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach. I have an online digital program and I also do individual one-on-one coaching, all online as well. I am in the middle of a 6-week deficit prior to leaving for my honeymoon. And I've received a lot of questions about how I plan my meals, how I track my meals, and I thought, why don't I just bring you along with me on a full week of eating? So that is what we are going to do. Welcome to this week's vlog. This one is going to be a little bit different. I received a lot of questions about how I plan my meals for the week, and so I just figured, why don't I take you along with me on a full week of eating? If you are new here, my name is Rebecca. I'm an online personal trainer and nutrition coach. I also have a digital fitness program that you can do as well. I am in the middle of a 6-week deficit as I lead up to my honeymoon. I have an online macro book that you can purchase. It is exactly what I have utilized to figure out what my macros are for this cut. If you don't want to figure out your macros, that is perfectly fine. I will show you how I build my meals, how I get enough protein, how I have full balanced meals with a lot of fruits and vegetables to keep me satisfied and satiated throughout the day. So I hope that you enjoyed this vlog and let's go. I'm in a cut. I am very diligently tracking all of my macros. I want to make sure that I get enough protein, enough fats, and enough carbs. Protein is my primary macronutrient. That is what's going to keep me satiated, keep me full, make sure that I'm still building muscle throughout this deficit and maintaining the muscle that I have. And as I'm losing weight or losing fat, I'm not pulling from that muscle. So in order to make sure that I'm doing that properly, I use a food scale to weigh and measure all of my food. Now, I do not do this every single day when I am not in a deficit, but when I'm in a deficit, I absolutely do it every single day for every single meal because I want to make sure that I'm eating enough. Outside of a deficit, when I am more at maintenance, I don't weigh and measure my stuff as diligently as I do now. But because I'm in a deficit, this food scale lives on my counter. Breakfast, I always have a piece of sourdough. I'm going to weigh this. It is 34 grams. Perfect. I'm going to pop this in the toaster and then I'm going to start my eggs. So before I even started breakfast, I already loaded everything into my fitness pal. I can adjust the measurements as I weigh everything out. But I have 23 grams of protein, 34 carbs, and 9 grams of fat just in this one plate. Also going to take 2 digestive enzymes. So this helps the enzymes in your stomach produce a little bit quicker and break down food so that you can digest it a lot easier. So if you are somebody that struggles with bloat or you have a very sensitive stomach, perhaps you could look into digestive enzymes. Obviously talk with your doctor, but these might be a good option for you to help with digestion. Finished my workout. I'm going to make lunch, which is going to be really easy because I pulled out my Greek turkey meatballs that I made yesterday for dinner. This recipe is on my Instagram page, so you can get that recipe. I'm just going to put some arugula down on my plate. I already have everything logged in my fitness pal. Arugula, I do not count. This is a free green for me. It is minuscule compared to what you get from a protein and carb standpoint, so I love leafy greens. Gonna add my cucumber salad right on top of that. Peppers, tomatoes, onions, a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. I have my turkey meatballs, and then I also have 1/4 cup of tzatziki. I really need a snack, and I need some more carbs, so I'm gonna have my lesser evil. This is the ghee, and I can have 20 grams of that, so I'm gonna measure out 20 grams. If you haven't tried the Lesser Evil popcorn, you absolutely should. They use coconut oil, so it's got like a subtle coconut flavor, but this bowl is also 3 grams of fiber. So I try to build popcorn into my cut because I also know that gives me fiber. If you can't tolerate popcorn, that is perfectly fine. You can have plenty of fruits and vegetables that provide fiber. This is like a little trick to also have that snack and get some fiber in there. So my second snack of the day, I'm really into Greek yogurt bowls, but a combination of Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. So this is going to be my second snack of the day. I've already preloaded numbers into MyFitnessPal so that I know exactly what I need to hit all of my macros, and I'm hoping that I have enough yogurt to get me there, but if not, I will just modify 150 grams of yogurt. Also, I used to hate cottage cheese, like absolutely hate it growing up, but I've been seeing all of these yogurt bowls mixed with cottage cheese on social media, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll try it and see what the hype is about. I think the honey on there is what makes it so delicious. Okay, that is 150 grams, 100 grams of cottage cheese. Let me double check. This is why preloading in MyFitnessPal is helpful. Okay, 75 grams of cottage cheese, zero that out. Anyway, I used to hate cottage cheese. Saw these yogurt bowls, I was like, ugh, I don't know, but I'll try it. So I decided I was gonna try it, and I was gonna put so much honey on it, and I truly think that is what makes these taste delicious, is the honey. Because without the honey, I still can't do it. So cover this in honey. Perfect. Exact measurement on that one. Then I'm doing raspberries and banana by adding them in. So every time I go to measure, I zero out my scale so I know exactly the weight of each item. Like I said, preloading all of this into MyFitnessPal is so much easier, so you're not playing the guessing game or trying to scramble at the end of the night trying to figure out how to hit the rest of your macros. All right, banana is done. Cottage cheese is done. Raspberries, I also used to hate. They are my husband's favorite fruit, and I used to give him shit for raspberries. And then I realized how much fiber they have, and so I forced myself to eat raspberries, and now I love them. I would eat this entire thing as a snack in one day. They're so good. Okay, raspberries are in, and I saved enough macros where I can do some granola on top as well. Dinner tonight, we are doing a summer steak salad. I already weighed and measured all of my vegetables and put them in a bowl, and I have the steak marinating. So I'm going to grill this up indoors, and then I will show you the final product. Digestive enzymes. It's almost over, but I did save room for 2 pieces of my huge chocolate. If you haven't tried this, it is so good. No refined sugars in this one. So I'm gonna have 2 pieces. I'm gonna make a sleepy time tea, which does not count towards my macros at all. I'm gonna read a book. I'm gonna go to bed. Morning, it is almost 7 a.m. I actually just got back from bringing my husband to the airport. I made my coffee before we left, and then I decided on the drive to the airport that I really wanted to go work at a coffee shop this morning so that I could get more work done. So I forced my husband, who doesn't like coffee. Actually, I wasn't forcing. He actively picked up my coffee. I had him drink it so that I could go get a coffee at the coffee shop so that I don't have too much caffeine today. So I'm gonna go work for a few hours there and then come home and make breakfast, which this is not my normal routine. I normally am up and making breakfast by now, but I know that it will set me back and the coffee shop will get too busy, so I'm just gonna go for a few hours, do work there, and then come back and make breakfast. It is 9:22. I just got back from the coffee shop. This is later than what I'm used to eating. So I'm gonna make a quick breakfast, pretty simple. I'm gonna do toasted sourdough and egg mixed with egg whites. I think I'm gonna do an over easy egg today. And then avocado toast. And for fruit / fiber, I'm gonna do raspberries. Plate, over easy egg with egg whites, avocado toast, and raspberries. Okay, I have this in my Fitness Pal. I also put in my coffee, which I got a whole milk vanilla latte, and so I put in 10 ounces of whole milk and then 1 tablespoon of vanilla syrup. I am estimating it was about a 12-ounce cup of coffee, and so the espresso was probably 2 ounces. So I put 10 ounces of whole milk, almond milk, or skim milk. However, their latte, their homemade vanilla latte, is so much better with whole milk because it's just creamier. So I got whole milk. That's not a free drink for me, okay? That has calories associated with it. So you put everything in my Fitness Pal, you account for everything because that drink, towards your macros, goes towards your overall calories. So for breakfast with my coffee and this entire plate, I'm looking at about 35 grams of protein, close to 20 grams of fat, and close to 58 grams of carbs. So that's a lot for breakfast. It is taking up a big portion of my macros, but I can plan the rest of my day around that, knowing that that coffee was a treat this morning, and now I can balance out the rest of my days with what I have remaining. I am making chicken salad for lunch. Y'all, there is not a good angle in my kitchen. When you have a galley kitchen with very limited counter space, there is not a good angle to do any sort of filming. But I can't afford a fancy house, so this is what we're working with. I am making chicken salad. Normally this is something that I would meal prep to have ready for the week. I did not do that. So I am making an individual portion. I just spent the last 10 minutes putting everything in my Fitness Pal to make sure that I had the quantities correct for the remainder of the day so that I was hitting proteins, carbs, and fats correctly because I'm in a deficit, which I have talked about numerous times. I have already pre-measured some of my vegetables. I'm going to grab my chicken so that I can measure that out, but I want to make the sauce first. Normally I would use non-fat Greek yogurt, but I have Greek yogurt left over from the turkey meatballs. And when you make homemade tzatziki, that is better with full-fat yogurt, so I'm going to use the rest of that. We're traveling for the holiday this weekend, so I just want to get everything out of the fridge that I can. But I'm going to combine that with Dijon mustard and an avocado mayo. Again, I would use a non-avocado mayo to bring the fats down, but that is what we have. So I'm going to use what's on hand, and I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to show you how I make things work and fit into my macros so that I'm still having very high volume meals to feel satiated and full throughout the day. So I think there's a misconception that when you are on a deficit that you don't eat. You can eat a lot of stuff if you plan your meals correctly, and they're high volume meals. So that's what I'm hoping to show you, and that's what I'm hoping that you get out of this week's vlog, is all these different meal ideas and seeing you can eat a lot more than you think when you strategically plan your meals out. A deficit and tracking your macros doesn't have to be challenging, and it doesn't have to be, something that changes your entire diet. You can make things work. You just have to plan it out and be a little more strategic. So let's make this chicken salad dressing. I'm going to make the dressing right in the bowl, because that's just going to make my life easier. I already added everything in my Fitness Pal, so now I just have to do all of the measurements. is mixed. I'm actually going to eat those over a bed of arugula. I do not count my greens towards my overall macros because these are minuscule, and I would rather load my day up with a bunch of greens to help me feel satiated. And I'm gonna pair that with 1 string cheese as well. This whole thing will be lunch. Just finished a workout, so I'm gonna make a smoothie. I have my Chobani protein, peanut butter, a banana, a few raspberries. I'm gonna make a chocolate peanut butter smoothie. Ice. 30 grams of chocolate protein powder. Tonight. It is going to seem very similar to dinner last night because I'm basically using the same ingredients, plus or minus a few things. It's what I have on hand since we were traveling this weekend for the holidays. I want to make sure that I'm using up what we have in the fridge. Is it exactly what I want for dinner? No. But will I eat it anyway because we have it and I don't like to waste food? Abso-freaking-lutely. So, I am essentially making chicken fajitas. Tonight I have a zucchini, which some people find weird to put in fajitas, but I love zucchini in fajitas. I'm going to slice this up and then weigh it out. I'm also going to slice up some peppers, onion, cherry tomatoes. I have some mushrooms, and then I pre-cooked chicken earlier this week. I'm just going to utilize this for the fajitas as well. And put that over a bed of salad because that is what I always do to make my meals seem a little higher volume. Little trick for you, if you want your meal to be a little higher volume, you just put it over a bed of lettuce. Does the trick every time. All of the veggies are in here. Now I need to weigh out the olive oil. This is the most important part because olive oil in and of itself is a fat. It is a healthy fat nonetheless, but this has 9 calories per gram. So I want to make sure that I'm staying within my fat targets. I've already put some in here. I put 5 and I am at 6. So I will adjust what is in my Fitness Pal and I will carry on with making dinner. This is what I mean when I say to make high volume plates is going to be the best bang when you are in a deficit. This entire plate. Okay, I don't count my greens because they're like 1 carb, so I don't necessarily count them. They're great for me. I'm not getting much out of it from a macronutrient standpoint. It's not going to set me over with the amount that I have on the plate, so I put greens under everything. This entire plate, with the olive oil included, 242 calories. It is 29.5 grams of protein, 9.4 grams of fat, 11 grams of carbs. You can eat a lot of food, you can eat real food, you can eat well when you are in a deficit. You just have to be strategic about what you eat. Bon appetit! The last thing that I have for the night are little dates stuffed with butter and salt. And these are a nice sweet treat. Kind of tastes like a sugar cookie. Built these into my day a lot earlier to make sure that I could enjoy these. gonna make a coffee, go and get ready, train, and then I will be back on after I'm done training them to make breakfast. I don't have much time to be fancy because I'm in between clients, so I'm gonna make the same breakfast that I normally make. A piece of avocado toast, which these are a little bit bigger from a carb standpoint than I would like, so I'm gonna use one, but I'm gonna cut it in half so that I don't use the whole thing. I will save the other half for a meal later today. 1 egg, egg whites, obviously the avocado for the toast. I'm either going to make a little side salad or I'm just gonna put this on the avocado toast. From a fruit perspective, I either have grapes or apples. While I'm making it, I'm gonna decide which one I wanna eat. I think I'm gonna put both in my Fitness Pal, leaning towards apple because it's gonna give me a little bit more fiber, though not much because I have small apples. And then I'm probably gonna do some Parmesan cheese on the side as well to get a little more protein and a little bit more healthy fats in there. Not really much that I told you I was gonna have. I do have my egg mixed with egg whites, my avocado toast with a little bit of greens, and I found blueberries in the fridge, so that is what we are going with. Very basic. I am limited on time, so this is what we are working with for breakfast. Obviously, I still have my coffee from this morning, and I will make more voluptuous meals throughout the remainder of the day. It is Wednesday lunch. Today, I'm going to make tuna salad with avocado mayo. I have a little bit of celery already chopped up, not counting that towards any of my macros because I am barely using 2 tablespoons worth of celery. And I think I'm gonna have this on sourdough with an apple and some string cheese. Out of regular shredded cheese. So I'm going to peel this string cheese and lay it across so that I can make a tuna melt in the toaster. Savage, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Perfect. I get this entire plate, little tuna salad, tuna on a sandwich, an extra string cheese, and apple. And as you can see from my Fitness Pal lunch, that is about 47 grams of protein, which is incredible. A little bit more fat since I use the avocado mayo. I don't have regular mayo. As you can see, I've already pre-logged my entire day and basically spot on with my macros. I have a little extra fat if I want to have something extra. Perhaps I will put that into my snack that I already have, but this is why pre-logging makes such a difference. Look at that plate. I'm gonna be so full for so long today. And reading in the park. It is 6:30 p.m. I'm starving and really want to make dinner. I'm going to start making a turkey burger that I'm going to put on a salad. But on top of this turkey burger, I always like to eat it with roasted beets. They're so good for detoxing your body. And I feel like their flavor is so much better when they're roasted. So I'm gonna start by roasting those first because they're gonna take about 40 minutes. So once I am done dicing the beets, I put a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, throw them in for 40 minutes, flip them halfway through. It is on 400 degrees. Then I'm gonna put together all of the stuff for the turkey burger. I have mushrooms, zucchini, peppers, already left over from the week, so I'm going to dice up the rest of the stuff that I have really tiny to put in there. Spinach will go in there, feta cheese will go in there, green onion will go in there. I also use an egg to help bind it together so that it's a little bit fattier and doesn't dry out when you're cooking. And then a lot of seasonings, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, paprika. I really like to add a bunch of stuff to turkey burgers. I feel like turkey meat in general can be really boring if you don't zhuzh it up a little bit. So I will be doing all of that so that I can have turkey burgers over the weekend. Burgers are finished. I did not get a chance to shower while they were cooking. I made myself a salad with the beets. I put some feta cheese on here, some avocado, and then I also found balsamic glaze in the fridge. So I adjusted some of my macros on other things that I have scheduled for later tonight so that I could have some balsamic glaze on here as well. Because the turkey meat itself, 1 pound is about 16 ounces. Because that made 6 burgers, essentially the weight per burger is 2.66 ounces of meat. I would like 4 ounces, and so I'm going to have a burger and a half to get closer to 4 ounces of turkey for dinner so that I can get all of my protein that I need for the day in. Just showered and got ready for bed, did all of my skincare. I am going to watch my TV show, which tonight is Summer House, but I've been saving these little dates stuffed with butter and topped with salt. Honestly, in a deficit, this is probably not worth the amount of carbs. However, I wanted a sweet treat and I was craving this, so I put it in my macros yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I might switch out tomorrow's because truly this takes up so much of your carbs where I could utilize that a little bit wiser, especially since I am starting to get a little hungry. So I think tomorrow I'm going to switch it up and do something different. I do have some Q chocolate that I might do tomorrow, but if you haven't tried these, it's so simple. A date, grass-fed butter, topped with Maldon salt. You do need your butter to be room temperature, but it tastes like a sugar cookie. I'm going to sit here and do a little bit more work because while I was showering, I had some great creative thoughts come into my brain. I don't know if you are like that when you shower, but usually in the bathroom when I'm showering, I tend to have a lot of creative thoughts. Same when I go to a coffee shop. So I'm going to put those thoughts that I have in my spreadsheet that I make for business ideas and then eat these, watch my TV show, make my sleepy time tea, and go to bed. Do it all again tomorrow. Morning. I am so tired this morning. I went to bed around 11 o'clock last night, which is later than what I wanted to go to bed. I usually am in bed by 10 at the latest, sometimes 10:30, that's like pushing it, but that means I'm typically falling asleep on the couch. Last night, I was not tired, which is a dangerous combination, but I took my magnesium and fell asleep around 11:15. So, slept in today, thank goodness I do not have anyone this morning, but I'm very much in need of my coffee. So this is homemade cashew milk. I heat this up in the microwave before putting it in my Nespresso. So I'm going to do that. I really want to read this morning, and so for breakfast, I'm going to make a Mediterranean egg bake, which is a single serving. I have this cute little mini dish that I got from Crate & Barrel when we got married. And so I'm going to make it in here with all of the veggies that I have in the fridge that I want to get rid of. Preheat the oven to 350. I've roasted red pepper artichoke. I'm going to do spinach, save those peppers for later. Feta, mushroom, and the rest of these cherry cucumbers. I'm gonna weigh everything in that dish so that it's ready to go. I ended up baking this for 25 minutes. I can have this entire thing for breakfast, and I made some avocado toast as well. I still have my coffee, so I'm gonna eat this, and I'm hoping I get through this, but honestly, I don't know if I'll finish all of that. For lunch today, I'm gonna make a turkey club, an open-faced turkey club. I have some turkey bacon in the air fryer, chicken that was left over from earlier this week, same chicken I made my chicken salad with. I'm going to put a little bit of spinach on here, very little bit on top of the bread, which I'm using sourdough that I got from the farmer's market, already weighed this piece out, avocado, and then I'm going to have that with a side of grapes. Again, grapes eat up a lot of carbs, even though they are a very healthy fruit. They also have a caloric value associated with them. That comes primarily in the form of carbs. Every single thing that you eat has a caloric value associated to it. It is either a carb, protein, or fat in some sort of capacity. So even though it is healthy, I do need to be mindful of how much I'm eating. So I'm going to weigh that out on a plate right now. And then once this is done, put together my turkey sandwich. All right, here is the lunch plate. It is a chicken club. I think I keep saying turkey, but this is chicken breasts, grapes, and a string cheese. You can see how I put everything in MyFitnessPal. You can see I already tracked for the entire day. Little over on protein, but not by much. I have a little bit left to work with. Overall, fantastic. The good news is that tonight for dinner, I am making leftovers, which is the turkey burgers on a salad, same as last night. I do have beets roasting in the oven again because I only made enough for last night. So cut up another 150 grams of beets and roasting those in the oven. But I'm going to put together my salad and then just heat up my turkey burger portion in the microwave. I love when meals can be this easy that you can just reheat them. I know some people are not a fan of leftovers, and I have my pick of which ones I will eat twice, especially like multiple days in a row. These I'm okay with. After today, not so much. But this is making my life so much easier already having this prepared, so it's gonna be delicious dinner. It is 9:30 p.m. I have not packed for my trip tomorrow. I have clients in the morning, about an hour and a half break, and then I need to leave for the airport. So I technically have time tomorrow, but I don't know what I'm wearing and what I'm bringing, so I need to figure that out tonight. I'm gonna finish the day with my 2 pieces of Hue chocolate. I built this in instead of the dates for dessert today. Pack, blow dry, straighten my hair, and hopefully get to bed in an hour. I will also be having my magnesium drink before I go to bed. It is clearly very early this morning. I have a very busy morning with clients before I leave today. So I'm going to quickly make my coffee, get ready for all of my clients, and I will be back on later to make breakfast. I'm finished with my morning clients. I already did my makeup. I leave for my flight in 2 hours. I will not tell you exactly what time my flight is at because I will probably give you anxiety. Most of our friends hate how close my husband and I get to the airport when we have a flight. Let's just say we like to arrive when they are starting to board. We take a lot of chances. It has worked out very well for us in the past. Knock on wood, that continues. So for breakfast, I'm going to make 1 egg mixed with the rest of these egg whites. We'll get the exact weight once I measure them out. From a toast standpoint, I'm actually going to do a cottage cheese toast with the rest of the blueberries in the fridge and a little bit of honey. So very much a high protein, minimal fat, decently carved breakfast because I'm also doing that on toast. The cottage cheese has some carbs, honey is carbs, and blueberries are carbs. So I'm going to put that all together and then I'll show you the final plate and measurements as soon as I am done. I know it doesn't look like much, but we have 1 egg with 120 grams of egg whites, cottage cheese blueberry on sourdough toast. I whipped that with a little bit of honey and cinnamon. Thank God, it's going to make that cottage cheese taste better since I don't have yogurt to mix it with. And then you can see how I logged everything. I weigh it exactly because every little thing counts when you are in a deficit. I pre-logged the rest of my day, so I still have a little bit left remaining that I can add in, which is fantastic, but it doesn't look like much, but everything adds up. I have 5 minutes until I need to leave for the airport. I have not called my Uber yet, but I am hungry and I don't want to get on a flight hungry. So I'm going to quickly make a smoothie. I think I made the same smoothie yesterday, but I'm going to do berries, spinach, peanut butter, vanilla protein powder, and water. I will show you the end result, but I'm not going to show you filming because I will show you the end result, but I'm not going to film it because I simply do not have time. Thanks for understanding. Smoothie is done. I need to call an Uber, so I will see you when I land. I have a confession, and I will always be honest with you. I was so hungry after landing. I had a call right away when we landed, and I completely forgot to record my lunch for you. So I'm going to tell you what I had because honesty is the best policy. My husband picked up for me Mendocino Farms, and he got me the farm, is I believe what it's called. It's the chicken bacon club sandwich. I asked for it on sourdough. I keep the pickled onions on there and the lettuce. I removed tomato because I have a love-hate relationship with tomatoes, and sliced tomato I don't like on sandwiches. I believe it came with avocado and mayo. So I recorded that entire thing in my food log today. Was not what I was expecting to have for lunch, but that's okay. So now we are playing the game with dinner of whatever I have left. But we are doing dinner out with family tonight. I'm not going to stress if I'm a little bit over. I'm going to make the best decision that I possibly can. I think we are going out to a restaurant, so TBD if I record this on this camera or if I just do a small recording on my phone. Either way, I promise I will show you my dinner tonight.